This story begins on a quiet university campus just before winter break. We meet a young student named Emily, who's eager to head home to Delaware. She's texting her friend, saying she'll just take the bus. But her friend replies, "Why don't you check the rideshare board? Maybe someone's driving that way." Now, at this school, there's a big notice board where students post their travel plans. It's a way to help each other out, share rides, split gas money, and avoid long solo trips. Curious, Emily heads over and scans the flyers. Her eyes land on one. A student named Guy is driving to Delaware. She calls him immediately. Within minutes, Guy pulls up in his car. He's polite, friendly, and quick to offer her a seat. Emily, relieved she won't have to take the bus, hops in, and the two set off. At first, the ride feels normal. They talk, laugh a little. But soon, Emily notices something strange. Guy seems to know a lot about her, what classes she takes, where she lives, even small details about her life. When she asks, Guy casually says, "I'm in your class too. Maybe you just never noticed me." Emily is surprised. She's sure she's never seen him before. A couple hours into the drive, they stop at a gas station. Emily needs a restroom, but she's just painted her toenails and doesn't want to walk barefoot. To her surprise, Guy scoops her up and carries her inside. She laughs nervously but goes along with it. Inside the restroom, something unsettling happens. As Emily finishes up and heads for the door, it slams shut and locks on its own. She bangs on it, calling for help, but no one seems to hear. Through the small crack, she sees Guy chatting casually with the station attendant, as if nothing's wrong. Minutes later, the door finally unlocks. Emily storms out, furious, demanding to know why he ignored her. Guy looks genuinely confused, as does the attendant. Both act like they never heard her pounding on the door. The moment feels off, but Emily brushes it aside for now. Back in the car, Guy hands her some water he bought. She offers to pay him back, but he smiles and says, "I don't take money from my friends." They hit the road again. But then, Guy suddenly turns off the main highway and onto a narrow side road. Emily frowns. "Why'd you get off the highway?" Guy replies smoothly, "Shortcut. We'll get there faster." But Emily's instincts flare up. She presses him, and soon she realizes Guy has lied. He doesn't even live in Delaware. Before she can demand answers, headlights appear ahead. A car barrels straight toward them. Guy swerves at the last second, and they skid off the road, crashing into a snowbank. The other car vanishes into the darkness. No tire tracks are left in the snow. Emily and Guy stare at the road, unsettled. Cars always leave tracks. Always. But here, there's nothing. With no cell signal and a storm rolling in, they're stranded. Emily locks herself inside the car, refusing to let Guy back in. She blames him for everything. He pleads with her, but she stays firm. Finally, Guy decides to hike back to the gas station for help. Alone, Emily turns on the radio. The voice of a broadcaster warns of a severe snowstorm. Temperatures dropping to -30. Fear creeps in. Outside, she spots a dark shadow moving across the snow. Thinking it might be help, she yells, but the figure doesn't react. It fades into the storm. Guy eventually returns, claiming the gas station was closed. Emily doesn't believe him. The station is always open, and there's no way he could have gone there and back so fast. She starts questioning everything he says. Back in the car, she notices blood running down from behind his ear. Guy admits he's hurt. She confronts him about lying, and finally, he confesses. He tells her he overheard her texting in class, and because he liked her, he pretended he was heading to Delaware. He just wanted to spend time with her, maybe become friends. Emily is angry at first, but slowly, she forgives him. Their uneasy peace doesn't last. The car's heater sputters and dies. They check the engine and discover the gas tank has a leak. The car is empty. No gas means no heat, no warmth. They'll have to face the night in the freezing cold. Later, while stepping outside, Emily sees a group of priests walking down the road. She calls Guy, but by the time he joins her, the priests are gone. Determined, Guy follows their trail and disappears into the night. Emily is alone again. That's when a police officer approaches her car. Relief floods through her until she touches his shoulder. His glove bursts into flames. He turns, and his face is twisted, monstrous, inhuman. A snake slithers from his mouth. Emily screams and runs, stumbling upon two boys lying beaten and broken in the snow. Horrified, she collapses and faints. Guy finds her, shakes her awake, and she tearfully tells him everything she saw. The two retreat to the car, desperate for safety. Moments later, another officer arrives. This one looks completely normal. He orders Emily into his car. She refuses. When he insists, Guy attacks him with an iron rod. The officer's face breaks apart, and suddenly, a blinding wave of light engulfs them. They're back in the car. Same place, same time, but Guy is still holding the bloody iron rod. It wasn't a dream. As the hours drag on, Guy's condition worsens. He tries to hide it, but Emily sees his head wound is critical. Desperate, she climbs a telephone pole and uses the emergency phone. The connection is weak, her voice breaking up. The operator barely hears her. Coming down, she's confronted by the ghost of a woman, a victim of the same demonic officer. Emily panics and races back to the car. Guy is unconscious. She tries to wake him, but it's too late. Guy is dead. Heartbroken, she drags his body outside, just as a snowplow approaches. At first, she fears it's the cursed officer, but it's only a driver responding to her weak emergency call. He loads Guy's body and takes Emily with him. On the road, he tells her the story of the cursed highway. Back in the 1950s, a corrupt officer caused wrecks, lured travelers, and murdered them. He died in a fiery crash, but his spirit stayed behind, reliving the same night, claiming new victims each Christmas. The driver then encounters that same fiery accident from 1953. He sees priests who had once abandoned the corrupt officer to his fate. The officer's vengeful ghost rises from the flames, seizing the driver and freezing him to death. Emily, alone once again, faces the spirit. The officer attacks her until Guy's spirit returns. With the same iron rod, he strikes the officer down. Another wave of energy surges, and suddenly Emily is back in Guy's car, his lifeless body beside her. Morning comes. Snow glitters across the road. Through the glass, Emily sees Guy's spirit, standing outside, motioning for her to follow. She stumbles out, following him to a gas station, where an ambulance arrives. She's saved, but Guy is gone forever. Later, she scrolls through her phone, stopping at the one photo she took of him. Tears roll down her face as she realizes the truth. Guy never wanted to hurt her. He just wanted to spend a little time with her. In the end, it was his love, his spirit, that saved her life. But for Guy, there was no escape. His soul is now trapped on that cursed road, forever tied to the loop of death and snow. And with that, the story closes haunting, tragic, and unforgettable. Thanks for watching.